I'm Megan Gopp, moved to Chicago with $20 in my pocket and an unpaid internship at an ad agency downtown, and I basically slept on my cousin's couch. I worked at Victoria's Secret in the stockroom from 5 a.m. till noon, and then would go to my unpaid internship from noon till sometimes like 8 p.m. And there was a point where the president of the agency felt so bad that he actually like busted out his wallet and gave me $100 one day because he just felt so bad. And there was a time I like cried because I couldn't even afford to go to the dollar menu at McDonald's. I went to a women in business conference in 2018, and I realized, I'm just spending all of my energy working for these men. They are all men except for me and the secretary for the most part. I was like, I can do this myself. I started the adventure agency full time, and one of my first clients was actually the agency. They asked to keep me on as a contractor, and I ended up making about the same amount of money as my salary was. So
oh my God, you're starting a podcast? Who does that? Every man. If every man can start a podcast, so can I. This is me doing unhinged shit. Unhinged Founder Podcast. This is Unhinged. Hi friends, it's Melinda Jackson, and this is Unhinged Founder. So I'm coming to you live today from downstairs at my house. I've moved my office out of the corner of my bedroom into our dining room. Today's guest is my good friend Megan Gopp. She is the owner of the Adventure Agency, and you guys are going to love it. Like, she's such a good friend. So I realize that the conversation is probably a little too friendly, but hopefully you still learn a lot. Fair warning, there is a little interruption in the middle. Jeremy came in the house and I was talking to him. So hopefully it's not too weird. Jeremy's going to fix it for us. But again, that's what we do here at Unhinged Founder. Megan is my first actual interview, which I'm excited about. So I'm sorry if it is unhinged, as we say. I want the interviews to be free flowing and just, come naturally. And I think we did a good job with it. I don't want to have anything too scripted, too planned. I love going on podcasts and just seeing where it goes. And so that's what I wanted to do with mine. But having known Megan for a year now, I was pretty surprised to hear that we had such similar stories and similar backgrounds, especially when it comes to agency life and how we started our own companies. Like, it's pretty freaking wild. If you listen to my first real episode here, my trauma dump, and then to hear her intro, it's like, holy shit, there's so many parallels there. But we talk about being former agency kids and having our own agencies now and what that looks like, and some mistakes we've made in business and some things we're excited about, and then like some ways that we've collaborated. So I hope you love it. I hope you enjoy it. And here is Megan from the Adventure Agency. We have Megan here today. Megan, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, thanks for having me. I'm Megan Gopp. I'm the founder and creative director at the Adventure Agency. We're a creative marketing studio. Started my career in 2012 after graduating at Michigan State, and I think that you and I have very similar stories about how we got started.
Yeah.
Moved to Chicago with $20 in my pocket and an unpaid internship at an ad agency downtown, and I basically slept on my cousin's couch for 3 months. Her new boyfriend had moved in at the time too, like same weekend, and they had 5 cats. And I'm highly allergic, so it was like hives every day. I worked at Victoria's Secret in the stockroom from 5 a.m. till noon, and then would go to my unpaid internship from noon till sometimes like 8 p.m. And there was a point where the president of the agency felt so bad that he actually like busted out his wallet and gave me $100 one day because he just felt so bad. And there was a time I left my lunch on the bus and I like cried because I couldn't even afford to go to the dollar menu at McDonald's. So they ended up hiring me, and I was there for 7 years, and I worked my way up to senior art director. I had this kind of realization. I went to a women in business conference in 2018, and realized that there were women out there who had actually started their own businesses and were successful. And I hadn't really seen that in my own circle. Like my parents have their 9 to 5s. My mom actually worked at the school. My grandparents like had either real jobs, real jobs like 9 to 5 jobs, or were stay-at-home moms. So it wasn't something that was really that prevalent in my world. And so when I actually saw that, and then I realized, I'm just spending all of my energy working for these men. Like my whole agency was men. Yeah. They were all men except for me and the secretary for the most part. Yeah, I was like, I can do this myself. So December 1st of 2019, I started the adventure agency full time. And one of my first clients was actually the agency. They asked to keep me on as a contractor, and I ended up making about the same amount of money as my salary was.
This is blowing my mind because I didn't realize we are literally parallel lives, like almost down to the year. Okay, keep going.
This makes sense why we're friends.
I know.
We're like the same person. Yeah. And then one of my other first clients of the adventure agency, I did some free work for her, but because of that, she paid me in giving me her first award. She had this business and she was calling out different marketing agencies, giving them awards. And so I was the first recipient of that, and she posted it on LinkedIn. And because of that post, I was invited to be on the professional advisories board for the Communication Arts College advertising PR department at Michigan State. And through that, I was asked to teach classes at Michigan State. So now I've been an adjunct professor since 2021, full-time business owner since 2019, on the professional advisories board, and now starting a Southwest Michigan community for ambitious women, which I know you have. Raleigh Female Founders, like we're the same.
This is blowing my mind because I know I've told you before, I've always wanted to be a professor, and I didn't know how to do it without a master's degree. And now I'm like, okay, I'm going to go back to my college. And it's literally been on my heart this week. Like, I need to reach out to my old advisor and be like, you guys need to take me seriously. I have a Grammy and an Emmy. Like, I need to teach these kids.
Yeah, do it. You never know. They're like probably looking for help too.
I know. Good Lord. Okay. There's so many things. And it's crazy because me and Megan talk literally all day, every day. And we are each other's like soundboards. We spiral to each other. We complain to each other. It's the best because we get it. And like, you're one of my only friends that understands agency life, but also understands like having an agency business that's not a big agency. Like, I think that's hard for a lot of people to understand that like you and I do not want to own huge agencies like the ones we worked at. We want to have a small team, but we still want to touch everything. Okay. So all that to say, I have questions. So when you first were leaving your agency in Chicago, like, did you have freelance clients before you left like I did? Or were you just kind of like, screw it, I can do this on my own?
I had clients, a couple of clients. So one of my clients I'm actually still working with, we started working together in 2015, I believe, through a friend relationship. He was in their marketing department. He asked if I knew anybody looking for work. I was like, hi, me. So they between that relationship and then a couple others that I had kind of built up just within the couple of months before leaving, because that's just who I am. Like, I need to have a little plan B. Like, I've never been the person who's like, let me be the entrepreneur. I didn't have the lemonade stand as a kid. I learned how to be this, and it's not a safe space for me. Like, me having a safety security net is what I always had wanted, growing up and in my career. And so this is a whole new world. But I needed to have a few clients who could at least replace my income. And then that was before knowing that I was going to end up working with my old agency on a freelance contract.
And how long did you work with your old agency, like for freelance?
Um, until 2023, actually.
Oh, okay. So, wow.
Yeah, yeah. I slowly left that relationship as I had my son. So I went on maternity leave, and I that was kind of our parting ways date.
Yeah. Yeah. And like thinking back to what you said about going to the conference and seeing, oh, women can work for themselves. We went to the same conference. We're not going to name it, but we went to the same one and we found that out later. But I I think that's so crazy to me because I grew up with entrepreneur parents and like me and my brother were always very money motivated. He was way more money motivated than me. Like I always joke like in high school my brother discovered what pawn shops were and so he started pawning everything in our house just so he could have extra money and it was like so stupid but like we were the lemonade stand kids. We were the kids that would like sell you your own thing back to you. And so I think for me being in agency life, you get so burnt out. You're like, fuck these people. I can do this on my own. But like, I knew I could actually do it on my own. You were probably like, fuck these people. I can do it on my own. Wait, I can.
Yeah, I needed somebody else to tell me I could do it. Like, I would spiral out to my husband and I'd be like, I know I can do this, but it's so scary. And one day he just said, why don't you just do it? Put together the plan. We'll talk about it over dinner. We'll make sure that it can happen, but why can't you do it? And I was like, what? Nobody's ever said that to me before. This could be real. I needed somebody else to help kind of push that agenda along.
And what I don't think people realize is, in like PR, marketing, advertising, yes, you work at this big agency, but you make $0 and you are doing all of the work. So you really do have to take on freelance work just to supplement your income so you can survive in cities like Chicago and LA and New York. And those are like the big three agency cities. So, you know, you graduate college and you want to work at an agency, you move to one of these places thinking like, I'm going to get a job because I have a degree. And that's not how it works, especially not anymore, I'm sure. But I mean, I graduated in 2009. You were a few years after me. The economy was shit. Like, no one wanted to hire us, no matter what kind of experience we had. So that's why we both had to do those unpaid internships.
Yeah. I actually, I found a list of 150 ad agencies in downtown Chicago right before graduation. So I waited to the last minute. And I submitted my resume. Even if they weren't hiring, I would put it in their, like, contact form. To all 150. I literally heard back from one. And we did a Skype meeting since I was at Michigan State. And it was kind of creepy, you know, like you have some red flag vibes. My camera wasn't working. He was like, I'd really like to see your face. Can you restart your computer and see if we can get this camera working? And I was like,
was he trying to see if you were like cute and blonde and like
I don't know, like, because I had my profile picture there, and then when I got my camera to work, he said, oh, you do look like your picture. And I was like, I guess like maybe it was just to make sure I was a real human. I don't know. But I was like, okay, this is the only opportunity. We got to make it work. And then after I got hired, my salary was $25,000 for the whole year to live in Chicago. There would have been no way I could live by myself.
Insane. I mean, my first one in LA was 30, but I got hired in 2010. So that was 2 years before you and $5,000 more in just a step up major market. Like child labor. Literally.
Honestly. And I didn't realize that they probably wanted to negotiate. You know, that was like their starting price, because my parents were like, just accept whatever they give you. You know, you just want a salary and paid vacation days. I literally got a salary of $25,000, 5 paid vacation days for the whole year, no 401k match, no health insurance, no nothing else. Like, I manifested my salary and paid vacation time, and that was it.
Oh my God.
And learning, like, people who were coming in after me, that they were making, you know, $35,000 because they actually negotiated. And I was like, I don't even know how to negotiate. I didn't know you were supposed to do that.
Well, my parents told me not to. And I don't know if your parents did. It was like, don't, like, whatever they offer you, take it because they're going to say no. So just take
Yeah.
whatever they give you. And like the cost of living where you grew up and where I grew up are vastly different than the major markets that we were living in. So $25,000 or $30,000 was probably okay where we were from, but not in LA and Chicago.
Yeah. And at that conference in 2018, they were all talking about the importance of negotiating and how, these companies will give you a low ball price because they're expecting you to negotiate higher. And I was like, what? People know this? Like, how is this not talked about more? Seems like a secret.
So were you also going to like any event that you could just to get free stuff back then? I think it was probably a little different in LA for me, but like that's truly how I survived. Like going to events or events that my internship would throw, and I would take home like a case of wine, and I'm like, okay, I at least have wine for the rest of the freaking year, you know?
Yeah. My cousin was a server, so I would go with her to like industry nights
Oh
because you
yeah,
get really, really
it's
cheap
like
stuff.
$2
Like,
drinks.
yeah. So she snuck me into a few industry night parties, and Victoria's Secret, I'd always get free stuff from there. So I was like,
Yeah.
okay, I can use this lunchbox now to make my little
To
sandwich.
put nothing in. Um,
Yeah, and we had free pop at my agency. That was my lunch most days.
Yeah. Oh God, the last agency I worked for in LA, I was so excited because I was like, I'm making $50,000 a year. I'm rich. I was not. And at that point, I'm 7 years in. Like I should have been making way more money than that. And they had a kitchen that had snacks and a wall of cereal with those like turn things where you could just do it. I ate cereal for 6 months because I was so poor. And they would have free lunch sometimes, or other departments would bring food. I would hoard that food. Like, not to mention my nervous system was so shot, I like could not keep food down, and I would get sick to my stomach, but I would eat that free cereal. That's probably why my stomach was messed up, honestly, all that cereal I ate every day.
Yeah, we had Dunkin' Donuts, so it's like
Oh
same.
yeah. Let's go. Okay. So you did agency life, you have trauma like me from that. What else? So like what do you think was the hardest thing for you when you first went out on your own?
I okay. It's going to be like my perception at the time versus
Yeah.
reality. So my
Yeah.
perception at the time was that I was the kid growing up who was perpetually shy. Like if you even looked at me in high school, my face would turn so red it's purple. Like, but I was a
That's why we
cheerleader.
attract each other, because I am the most outgoing person.
I know. I've seen you wheel and deal in person, and I'm so impressed.
Uh,
um, yeah, so I was a cheerleader, but I was also very shy. And growing up, my family always told me I was a scaredy cat. Like, they would intentionally do things to scare me and then tell me that I was a scaredy cat. So, like, I just always thought that I was this person who couldn't do public speaking, who couldn't get out there and put herself out there. And obviously, looking back, I moved to Chicago for an unpaid internship with $20. Like, scared people don't do that.
yeah.
So I should have given myself a break. But that was one of the hardest things for me is like, you have to find business. And my husband is this amazing extrovert. He's in sales. He's so good at convincing you like you could do anything or whatever. I'm not. And so I thought that you had to be that in order to be successful in business and find clients. And I've realized since then that really it's just, your personality, your skills, you can find the clients. Like we've been fully referral based for the last 6 years. And I think that says a lot about like who we are versus getting out there and being that person who's constantly selling.
Yeah.
I don't have to be that, which is nice, but that was the thing that I was the most afraid of when I left agency life, started my own business.
And then looking back now, what do you think, what do you wish you would have done better when you first started?
Great question.
Like, I always say, I wish I would have saved a little bit more money, which ended up being fine. I truly don't know how I did what I did, but I always say, like, I just wish I would have saved a little bit more money and put more structure in place for my business because I have no structure. I'm just like YOLOing all day, every day, which honestly, how I've made six figures every year, cannot tell you, don't know. I'm good at PR. I'm not good at the other shit. So,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just want to think about it because I want to say, my worst experiences have been when I didn't set boundaries with my clients. I also learned to set boundaries because I didn't, so I don't want to say that I wish I would have. I think that everything that I've done, I've learned from, and it's had a purpose. And I guess in the beginning, I wish I would have realized that that's part of entrepreneurship. The people who
yeah.
make it the longest, the farthest, the most successful, they keep pushing and they learn from any mistakes that they've made. And in any of these low points, there's always going to be a bounce back. I mean, that's kind of everything in life, I think, but specifically in entrepreneurship. And I think a lot of people quit when they're at the low point and they don't keep pushing. So I think if I could just explain that to my earlier self, that you just have to keep pushing and it's going to be okay, I would have saved myself a lot of stress.
Yeah. I think I had to learn that last year. Like, we both went to a conference, and there I heard someone say, like, you are going to have years in business where your bank account is negative and you're in a lot of debt. And then the next year you're going to be a millionaire, and it's just going to ebb and flow like that. And hearing that gave myself so much permission to be in that space, because last year it was a really hard year in business for me, and like I'm clawing my way out of that. But just like, I don't think I'd ever had anybody tell me that. And I carry a lot of like guilt and shame around having parents who are very successful entrepreneurs, but like, they didn't teach me how to do this. I'm doing whatever. And like, even talking to them about it and crying to them and being like, guys, I don't have any money and I'm trying really hard. They're like, yeah, that's how it works sometimes. Like, even hearing that from them, I'm like, oh, okay, other people do this. We're not all millionaires, and which Megan knows. I am so anti telling female business owners that they have to be a freaking millionaire, like 7 figures, scale and sale. Like, fuck that shit. Megan feels the same way. We're just like, yeah, it'd be great, but
Would it? Do those people who have 7-figure businesses even make 6 figures themselves?
Exactly. That's the thing.
I'm not trying to make $25,000.
Exactly. Me and Megan, we want to poke holes through it. We're like, okay, how much money are these people actually taking home? How much taxes you pay? How much write-offs did you have to have? What did you actually spend? Like, let's figure that out.
How many hours are you working?
Yeah. And it's not these people that are like, work 1 hour a week and send 3 emails. Like, I got this thing, a sponsored post from this entrepreneur that I know, and it was like, I never check my email. But then you click it and it's like, she has an assistant that checks her email. Of course you don't have to check your email if somebody else is checking it for you. Like, whatever. We're not Ed fucking Sheeran, who is like, only does email and doesn't use his phone or whatever he does. Like, I don't know. I can talk about it forever. There was something else I was going to ask you. I'm a really bad interviewer, but it's also hard because I know you. Okay, I was going to talk about referral only. So we're both referral only. I think if we had to do a sales funnel or whatever, we'd be like, I don't know. We are not sales girlies. We're like, look, if you don't want us, you don't want us. But I think our work speaks for itself, and we are both very lucky that we can be in a position where it's all referral. But I wanted to see if you feel similar to me, and I think you do, that like anytime I lose business or I don't land a client that I want, I have to tell myself it's going to equal out. Like, the bigger person is coming through, and it always does. It may take a month. It may take 3 days. I never know, but it always comes right on time. So like, do you feel that way too? Like, how does that look for you?
Yeah, absolutely. We just had a big pitch that we didn't get chosen for. And
That you had been working on for 150 years.
yeah, for a really long time. And, on one hand, it sucks, obviously, because it was something that I was so excited about. But on the other hand, looking at our current client roster, our current timelines of client work, and like with the holidays coming up and everything, I couldn't have even made that work to the level of success that I would wanted to. Like at the end of the day, it probably wouldn't have even been a portfolio piece for us. Like it just wouldn't have been worth all of the headache, the time, the effort. And I'm realizing that moving out of the way is to help free us up for whatever's coming next. And right now I'm currently in the process of trying to hire like an account manager, project manager, because that's where I get really bogged down in my business is meetings. I know you can relate.
Mm-hmm.
Emails. I get like 100 emails a day from like people that I actually have to respond to, managing the team. And I want to get more into that creative space. And so if I would have had this project, I wouldn't have been able to had the time to even hire somebody, although I would have needed them for this project. And I think it's just helping me, figure out what I can do to get to that next level, and then whatever's supposed to happen and come is going to come.
Yeah, and that's a hard place to be in, but I think, this many years in for both of us, we're just like, we know it's going to happen. You just have to sit in your discomfort for a little bit and it will pop up, and I'm seeing that now. I had such a down year and I'm getting the most random shit, like random amounts of money from people. It's like, can you do a consulting call for me? Okay, $500 and $750 here and then $1,500 here. And like, it all ends up equaling up to, the amount of money that I need at the end of the day to like get myself back to a good spot. But like, people will come out of the woodwork if you are in your authenticity, if you're doing what you need to be doing. It's going to happen. And you never know where they're going to come from. And they're not going to come from the normal places. Like last week, I got 2 different emails from people that were referral. Okay, listeners, we had a brief interruption. I don't know what I was saying, but doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. But the money will come if you're doing what you need to be doing. And just like trust the process, like you don't have to have a sales funnel all the time. If a sales funnel works for you, go ahead, girl balls. But that's not me and Megan. That's not how we operate.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What else? Okay. So explain to me exactly what you do, because no one understands what I do and they probably don't understand what you do. So yeah, if a client comes to you today and they're just like, I have a business, help me. What can you offer?
See, that's the hard part for me to even explain because we can do so
Everything.
many things. Yeah.
Megan did my branding. Don't look at my website. That will be fixed. Megan will fix it. But Megan did my branding for me. She's the best.
Yeah. Thank you. I like your branding. So
Megan made me famous. That's what I'm gonna make a thing. Instead of Melinda made me famous, it's Megan made me famous. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I have koozies that say Melinda made me famous.
maybe I'll just do Megan made me beautiful, and then you can be Melinda made me famous.
Wait. Okay. I love that. Okay. You heard it here first. Okay. Tell me what you do with your life.
Yeah. Yeah. So we are a creative marketing agency. So what that means is basically anything that has a creative aspect to it is in our wheelhouse. What that doesn't mean, right? Like what we don't do are your media buying, like things that are outside of the creative space. So we do branding, we do social media, content creation, management, strategy, we do marketing strategies, we do trade show design, booth activations, we can brand a whole trade show. We've done event branding and activations before. We've made murals for walls before. So
That's fun.
like graphic design, logos, website, packaging, kind of, like I said, anything that has to do with design or like a creative strategy is what we can help with.
Yeah. So basically you make it look nice, like you just said. You make it beautiful, and then I make it famous. But neither
Mm-hmm.
one of us. So what you pay us is what you pay. Like neither one of us are gonna buy a commercial for you. Like Megan can design it for you, but she's not gonna spend the money to make it happen. And like if you have a product, she can design the packaging and stuff and design, your logos and all that fun stuff. And then I can go and promote it. But neither one of us are going to do your advertising, which I think people probably always think that I do advertising. They probably also think that you do advertising.
Yeah, so actually my class for Michigan State today, I explained the difference between advertising and marketing. And so advertising is like your short burst paid campaigns. I'll do the creative design for that. If you're doing banner ads, let's come up
Yeah.
with the campaign. I'll help you with the messaging, the creative, the strategy behind it, but not the actual purchasing of the ad placements and like the management of that. And then marketing is more of the long play, brand recognition, your organic social media, that sort of thing. And we do help with that. So we're much more marketing than we are advertising.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't do any marketing. That's what I tell people. I'm like, no, 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 no. I don't even understand what marketing is half the time, and it changes every day. I don't do marketing. I don't do advertising. You pay me, and I just run with it, and I try to get you as many mentions as possible. That's what I do. I try to get you in front of people, but like, don't ask me analytics. That ain't my business. I don't know.
And
I'm
don't
not a
ask me
numbers
anything
person.
about PR because I'm just going to hire Melinda. I don't
Yeah,
know.
she'll be like, go to Melinda. And if someone's like, I have a marketing thing, I'm like, Megan, yeah, she literally teaches it. I do not. Don't ask me. Cool. Okay. I'm trying to think of any other questions that I have for you, but I don't think I have any. What are you excited about right now in life, in personal, in anything?
Well, in life, I have a 2-year-old and he is so fun and so funny. Like, he loves Green Day. We don't even
Oh
listen
my
to a lot of Green
God.
Day, but like yesterday he wanted to watch this video of Green Day on my phone because my husband and I saw them. We didn't listen to a single like Green Day album all the way through. We saw them in concert in 2022. My son saw like a 5-second clip of that and now he freaking loves Green Day. Like he has this like funny face and he dances to it and so I'm excited to see what crazy stuff he comes up with
He's a
every
little emo
day.
kid. I love it. And his
I
hair is
know.
so cute. Oh my God. Every time you post a picture, I'm like, oh my God, it's a little hair.
He
He has a
looks like a
little emo
little
hair,
surfer or
kind of.
something. Yeah, yeah, it's long.
Yeah, I love it.
So I'm just excited. We've got Halloween coming up, the holidays, and he's not a potato anymore, so it's going to be really fun to see him get excited about it.
Yeah, I feel like this is probably like the first year where he's just going to be like in it to win it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's exciting.
And then,
Professionally,
yeah,
oh,
professionally.
professionally, I'm excited. We have this local ice cream shop that we work with, and they have a ton of really fun stuff that they're doing. Advent calendars. We have a content shoot next week. It's
Wait,
gonna be
that's
so fun.
fun.
Yeah. You can get like a 12-day ice cream calendar or a 24-day, and every day you get 2 ounces of ice cream, different ice cream every day. It's all holiday themed, and so we're finishing the branding of that, and then content shoot next week, and then we'll promote it on social media, their website, and the store. And the same client has asked me to go to West Palm Beach, Florida in November to a conference called Cone Con. It's like an
Con
all ice
con.
cream conference. So cool. I can't wait. And it'll be November, and I'm in Michigan, so I'm just really excited to go to Florida in November. But yeah, professionally, I think that's going to be a highlight of my career.
Yeah, con con. Okay, so what we're not saying is I sourced one of my clients' products to Megan's client to try to figure out a collaboration, and I haven't told you this yet, and it'll be a podcast exclusive. But my client is like, oh, if they debut it at ConCon, we will fly you there. So maybe I get to go to ConCon with you,
What?
Megan.
Yes, we're debuting it. So,
And
we're going to go hang out at
my
Cone Con
client
together.
wants us to submit it for awards. And she was like, if we win a ConeCon award, it's over for everybody else. So I will be your partner in this. Tell the client I'm going to do the PR for it. We got this. We
That's
have
amazing.
to win all of ConeCon.
This is the
Me and
best
Megan,
day.
we're going to come back with cone crowns from ConeCon. The queens of ConeCon.
Why are we the same person?
I don't know, but whoever's listening to this is like, these stupid people. Look, this is the shit you get excited about when you work in marketing and PR. Going to a trade show. Like, I went to a beauty trade show with my client. I didn't even care that my client was speaking. I'm like, I get free beauty products. Like, it was the best day of my life. I flew home with a whole suitcase full of skincare that's expiring in my garage right now. But, you know, this is why we choose these jobs. We may make $2 a day, but we get a lot of free shit and get to go to things like ConeCon.
Yeah. And as a designer, I'm sitting at my computer working all day. Like, I see the things digitally. I don't always get to see the things in person. And so any chance I can go to a conference, or, you know, I went to a conference in August that we branded the whole thing, and I like teared up. It's just so
Branding
cool
was
to
on
see
like
all
the
stuff.
escalators and stuff. It was like, and that's weird. And that's another thing too. Like, what you and I do isn't always tangible. And so for us, it probably feels like we're just working all day and we're not making a difference. So it's important for us to go to stuff like this and see, oh, wait, people showed up, or, oh, like, people actually know who my client is because of something that I did, or, you know, this branding looks great, or the product looks great. That doesn't happen a lot for us. So those instances are really important.
Mm-hmm.
ConeCon forever. Okay, we're manifesting it. Me and Megan are also master manifestors, so we are gonna manifest an award at ConeCon. We are gonna be the queens of ConeCon. We're gonna make shirts or something. Like, we're gonna figure it out. We're gonna have to take a lot of like Tums with us because we'll probably be eating a lot of ice cream and stuff. But, you know, we will fight the tummy issues. Is there anything else you want to share? Oh, okay. Talk about your women's community that you guys are just starting, that I very obviously inspired. I didn't really, but I'm claiming it.
I think we were like talking about this at the last conference or the first conference you and I met at. We were like, we could do this.
Yeah.
So our Southwest Michigan group, it's called Lumiere House. I'm partnering with my friend Alexia, and we are creating a community for ambitious women. So you don't have to be a business owner. You don't have to be just trying to climb the corporate ladder. Like, any woman, you could be a stay-at-home mom. You just have the ambition to either better yourself, better your community, consistently learn and meet new people. That's the tribe we're trying to attract. And we went with Lumiere House as our name because we want this to be kind of like a beacon for those type of people, and offer workshops or some sort of free value that you're going to get, you know, from these meetings. So the first meeting that we had, we did a goal setting workshop, because that's kind of the foundation of everything that we want to do from here on out. You should probably have an idea of what your goals are, which is really hard if you're by yourself and you're trying to set your own goals. Like, I'm kind of going through that right now by myself. And then in November, I'm hosting a workshop about personal branding. It's actually a course that I taught at Michigan State, specifically to students. Now I'm tailoring it to women, like ambitious women. It's also a service that we've provided for some of our entrepreneurial clients, helping them really understand and identify what their own personal brand is. We all have personal brands, no matter if you're working on it or you're not. So you might as well like take control of it and leverage it. So that's what we're teaching in November. And then we'll kind of see, we're doing a lot of surveys to test and see what people would want to learn in the future and how often we want to meet. Alexia and I were just texting. We're like, 2 months between meetings is too long. We need more community than that. So we'll probably be picking up the pace in the new year. But our first event, we had roughly 20 people and the space only held 30. So like we were really happy
Perfect.
with that. Yeah. And people really seemed to dig in and they were all helping each other with their goals. They stayed the half hour after that we had the room to clean up. They actually like stayed and kept talking. And then I was in my car leaving and there were still people in the parking lot talking to each other. So it's definitely something that's needed in Southwest Michigan. I think it's needed everywhere, you know, especially in these times. We really need like some kind of glimmer of light for other with other women.
Yeah.
And so something that we're really looking forward to, and yeah, just the community aspect can, like you just said, it can feel so isolating when you're just sitting here feeling like what you're doing behind the screen isn't actually making a difference. So to go be face to face with people is so necessary, especially after COVID.
Yeah. And I love that you guys actually have programming. I notoriously don't have programming for my meetups, and it's something that everyone's complaining about and they want, and I'm going to try to do. But then also, when I try to do programming, nobody shows up or no one signs up. So that's kind of my battle. But I think as female entrepreneurs, we're all really, really lonely, and we all want community. But a lot of times we're just too busy for it. And so I'm trying, you're trying, we're all trying to do it. And hopefully more people catch on. And if not, hey, at least we still have our core community. And I'm a couple months further along the journey than you, but I know, like, especially where you live, it's probably so needed because, like, here, it's just old lady networking stuff. And we're not old ladies, you know. I always say old ladies that work at the bank. Like, I have a checking account. I don't need to network with them, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. And there's a surprising amount of women-owned businesses in our area. And there's, you know, one or two groups that are really focused on helping women start businesses and finding funding or lawyers and like kind of that part of it. But again, that's very specific to entrepreneurs and to new entrepreneurs. Like, we want to open it up because there are people out there who I want to connect with and I can learn from, or I can help teach something like leadership skills or whatever it is from these like women who work in corporate jobs still too.
Yeah.
And we all have the same goals. It's just like in a different flavor.
Yeah. And you guys are going to charge tickets, right? Or you're not going to charge a membership, are you? You're just going to charge for events?
Right now it's free.
Okay.
Yeah, we're kind of figuring it out. We may charge a little bit just so we can get some dinner.
Yeah.
Because I know you like buy all of your stuff and
Yeah.
that
It
sounds
sucks.
like a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I'm learning
now,
from
and,
that.
yeah. And now so like my whole thing is I don't want to try to monetize it to monetize it. I make money already. You know, I don't want to make money off women. It's just, I don't know, unethical to me. And everyone's doing it because they saw that you can make money from having a community. And I don't know. It's just icky to me. I would rather have people sponsor and me promote what they're doing in our Facebook group and our email list, which is like 300 women, and at the event, and then them pay me the $200 and either they go and get the food or give me the $200 and I go and get the food. And that feels a lot different than me spending $200 at Costco on wine and cheese on a Thursday morning when I have a day full of meetings and then have to knock out a freaking 100-person event. So yeah, figure out a way not to have to feed people.
Yeah, that's the goal is because we're hungry, right? It was like 6 o'clock our first meeting and I was hungry. So finding a way that we could still, you know, make it fun and have some things that might cost money, like just a $5 to $15 fee for the event, or even if that goes towards finding like a great speaker or somebody who can host a workshop, because, you know, we'd want to have some like high quality, high tier people come in, and sometimes they cost money. So
Yeah.
right now it's free because I'm the one that's doing the next workshop, and obviously I'm not going to take any money for that. But But yeah, eventually we might just do something, not to make money ourselves. There'll be
Yeah.
more profit to it, but yeah.
Cool. Well, I don't have any other questions for you. If people want to find you on the internet, where should they go?
Yeah, our website is theadventureagency.com, THE, adventureagency.com. It's long. And our Instagram is at theadventureagency.co. You can find the Adventure Agency mainly in those two places. And then I'm on LinkedIn, Megan Gopp. Come follow me. I try to
Like and
post
subscribe.
some fun like marketing opinions and things that are going on. So
How freaking good was that conversation? So good. I love Megan. Again, we were a little unhinged. It's a little all over the place, but hopefully you learned something. Please go and find Megan on the internet. I sound like such an old person when I say on the internet, but go find Megan, like and subscribe. Please use her. She is so wonderful. Like I said, she did my branding for me for MJPR, and she's so creative. She's so fun, and she's so sweet. We've worked together a couple of times now on different projects. And I can't wait to work with her more. So please go and find her, show her some love. And now I am off to New York City. I'm going to be speaking at the No, their focused event in New York. I did their the No's focused event here in Raleigh. I did it in Houston a couple weeks ago. Now I'm doing it in New York. I'm so excited. Also, my client Sweet Heat is going to have a billboard in Times Square, so I have to run in Times Square and get content of that. And then otherwise, I'm going to be bouncing around the city all weekend. So by the time you're listening to this, I am probably in New York or just got home. So send me some coffee because I'm going to be freaking exhausted. But I love you. Thank you for listening. And we're going to have a ton of freaking interviews next week. So I think I have 6 booked for next week. So get freaking ready. We got content for days, and it's a ton of just amazing female founders that I can't wait to chat with and be a little unhinged. So thank you guys. We'll see you later. Like and subscribe to my podcast. It's Unhinged. Dun, dun, dun.